And we're live.
I checked out I went to your channel like an hour ago, and I saw there was a little montage of Negreanu saying things. Do you have some sort of a beef with him, or some sort of maybe an issue with how he does things? Like, tell me about that. For those who don't know, Daniel Negreanu, very famous professional poker player. Seems like a really nice guy. At least that's his image. That he's sort of a fun-loving, sort of smiling and talkative kind of. He's not the blow up in your face and get angry kind of
He's not
poker player.
he's not like Phil Hellmuth or Mike
No.
Massa or some of those guys. No, so to understand the story, you have to understand some context, which is online poker is in kind of a weird place right now in that there's one company that controls a very large majority of all online poker being played. They're named Poker Stars. They probably have 65, 70% of all online poker revenue if I just had to kind of ballpark. And so what happened basically was 7 or 8 years ago, there was a day called Black Friday, which is the U.S. government, the DOJ, enforced one of its rules and essentially took a bunch of money from these online poker sites and said you can't offer poker in America to American citizens. It's against our laws. So the overall market consolidated down to just mainly one company, which was Poker Stars. They are now the largest operator worldwide by quite a margin. Daniel Negreanu is the head spokesman for that company. Now, what this company started to do, they changed hands. Someone bought them out. A company called Amaya bought them out for like $5 billion or something reasonable, right? $5 billion. And they started to make changes because now no longer was it owned by someone who loved poker, prior guy's name Isaiah Scheinberg. It was now owned by this gambling company that's like, we got to grind these people down for every last cent they got because that's what we're here to do. We're here to grind people down. People love slot machines, and we're going to grind them down like the slot machine grinders that they are, right? Which sucks. If you're a poker player, what you love about the game is kind of what I talked about earlier. Like there's strategy and you're outwitting people, and it's a really cool, well put together game. But no, now we're going to treat you like you're some gambling addict degenerates. And you could see this through the practices they started to put in the site. They started to increase the amount of money they took from the players, the rake. They started to take away game types where good players had a lot of edge, right? Because you can't have people winning. That's not what we're here for. They did a lot of shady stuff. Essentially, there were these rewards that they offered players to play. If you play here all year, you play a certain amount of hands, we're going to give you a bunch of money. People played there all year. October came. They said, actually, we're not going to give you that money that we promised you.
Oh, shit.
And what are you going to do about it? Right? What are you gonna do? We're Poker Stars. Where are you gonna play? We know you gotta play here. They did another really shady thing with affiliates, where basically they had all these affiliate deals where if you run a player, you get a cut of their rake for the rest of their life. And they told all the affiliates, we're not gonna honor that shit anymore because new owner and like frankly, what are you guys gonna do about it? Lots of like these power moves on people that didn't deserve it, and just slowly started to fuck over more and more people in the community until it's like, what's left? Where are the morals that we once stood for? And Negreanu was the head guy. He was the guy that's the face of the site. And so when this started to happen, he said, "Oh, I'm going to talk to them. My resignation's in play." Okay, a couple months go by. Turns out everything was okay. Turns out all this bad stuff's going on. And he says, "Actually, guys, we got some exciting stuff coming up this year. We got some stuff you're really going to like." And nothing happened. It was just more and more money being taken from the players, more and more games being removed. And no one was even sticking up for the players. No one was like, basically, because the thing is this: if you take a stance against this site, who's going to you're not going to get sponsored. You risk making money. You risk getting, basically being attacked by the majority player in this community. Poker is a fairly small space in terms of how many big names there are. A lot of them are going to hate you. This is career suicide for most people. But luckily, I don't really need any of that stuff. I have my own company. I don't need anyone to say that I can and can't do things. So I was like, someone's got to step in and stand up for the players here. So Negreanu did this interview where he's on his couch and he's trying to explain why it's actually better for the house to take your money. It's actually better because here's the theory.
Solid argument. I can see.
Solid argument, right? Solid argument. It's actually better because if they take your money, more of your money, well, the good players can't play anymore.
Now that makes sense.
Yeah, perfect sense.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
How dumb does he think his fans are if he's spouting stuff like that?
So anyway, I turned that into a huge, basically meme that more rake is actually better. And yeah, I just tried to like just joke about it in as many places as possible. And then this summer, so the World Series of Poker is played at the Rio, which is a big casino in Las Vegas. And I realized that they had a billboard for sale for the summer in front of the Rio. And I rented out the billboard and just had it say morerakeisbetter.com with a video to that montage you're referencing. And I just had it for the whole summer in front of the Rio.
So Daniel Negreanu
what a troll purchase.
you.
I love that. Man, nothing better than a good old-fashioned fuck you billboard.
Yeah, like, so good.
So tangible. That's great.
So real.
And like, this is revealing how little I know about gambling or anything. Does rake just mean like the percentage that is taken from you? It's like, oh, you win 100 grand. The rake used to be 5%, but it's actually better if it's 18%. Like, is that kind of what it is?
You hit the nail right on the head. Succinctly put. It's exactly what it is. The rake is the cut the house takes. So, these companies, they're just doing whatever it takes to make money. And what's the sad thing about poker, in some ways, or probably one of the most sad things, is that there aren't really that many people left just trying to stick up for the game and trying to protect the integrity of it and the future of it and people getting involved. And one thing that I see as a content creator, I can see the demographics for the people that are watching my content, and there is a noticeable lack of young people getting involved in the game. And it's a variety of factors. Obviously, the U.S. government stepping in probably had something to do with that. But if we keep treating people, poker players, like they're just random gambling degenerates, then what's going to happen is eventually that's what it will become. And I'm afraid of where that leaves the game in the future. So I'm basically just trying to stand up for the community and this game gave me everything, man. Like I started poker with nothing, like legitimately nothing. And I made millions and millions of dollars from that game. And so I just feel like it's something I feel like it's the right thing to do. And it just makes me sad to see someone like Negreanu, who used to be one of the voices of reason, one of the guys who stuck up for the players. Well, it's all, it's fine to do that until it's like, oh yeah, we're going to pay you millions of dollars to say the other thing. And it's like, I'll take the money.
Yeah.
It's just kind of sad.